Hello, welcome back. Alright, so in today's video, I'm going to share my best thrifting tips with you guys. These are basically my best tips for making the most out of your time at the thrift store. I'm also going to package up a couple recent Poshmark sales while I share my tips with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and before we hop in, I did want to share my new shirt from Gloria. She's another YouTuber who resells. She recently launched merch, so I bought this shirt that says I resell clothes and shit, which is basically like her tagline. It's great. Love it. If you don't subscribe to her already, definitely go check her channel out. She has great tips, a hilarious personality, and I'm pretty confident you will love her. Alright, into the tips. So I just have two sales to ship today. Nothing too crazy at all. My first sale was this Lulu's top. It's this really cute floral blouse top with a bell sleeve and V neckline. So this sold for $12, and I bought this at the bins for a little under $2, so left me with a pretty decent profit. So my first thrifting tip and how to kind of make the most out of your time at the thrift store is to shop the edges of the racks or the edges of the sizes. I can't speak to every single thrift store location, but the ones I shop here in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, they seem to put new inventory out on the edges of the racks. So whether it's by size, and they put it, you know, they'll move all the clothes over and put the new stuff on the outsides, or they'll move it all this way and put it on the outsides. But either way, it kind of always seems to be on the outsides of the rack. So especially if I don't have a ton of time to thrift that day, I will be sure to just shop the edges of the racks, because the middles seem to be much more picked through. So I hope that makes sense, but basically just the newest inventory seems to be kind of on the outsides of the racks. If I'm looking through every single garment, it does take, you know, you're there a lot longer than if you kind of just strategically look on the outsides of the racks and see the kind of newest inventory that's been put out. My next tip is to check the very back of the store for any racks of clothes that haven't been put out onto the floor yet. So for example, the Savers that I go to, they have the employees in the very back kind of warehouse part putting inventory on racks, and then they put them out into the very back of the store for the employees who are putting inventory out into the floor to grab the rack, wheel it out, and then put that inventory out on the floor. So sometimes there are a couple racks sitting like towards the back of the store that are just waiting for employees to put them out onto the floor. So I like to just go quickly look at those racks to see any inventory that hasn't been put out yet, hasn't been really picked through. I would just be mindful if an employee comes to take the rack to wheel it out to start putting the stuff out onto the floor, just to, you know, let them take the rack obviously, but that's a good little trick. I know at Goodwill's they usually bring those out like kind of more into the middle of the store before they put the inventory out, so you'll probably figure out where at your thrift store they do that, but check those next time you go and hopefully you find some good stuff. The other thing I am shipping out today is this Anthropologie cardigan sweater, and this sold on Poshmark for $31. And this was another bins item, so that was a solid profit. So my next tip is to figure out what days and times your thrift store has new inventory put out and to shop on those days. So at the Savers that I go to, employees are putting new inventory out onto the floor from 10 a.m. when they open until about 2 or 2:30 p.m. Tuesdays through Friday, maybe Saturday. I know it's Tuesday through Friday. Never gone on Saturday, so I don't know for sure, but just from going frequently, you can kind of get a feel for when new inventory is put out. If they're putting new stuff out while you're thrifting, you're much more likely to find some really good stuff throughout the whole time you're there, because, you know, it hasn't all been heavily picked through. So that's something I always try to do. So my next tip is to figure out your thrift store's either rewards program or discount days. I know at Goodwill they have the different color of the week, and then all items with that tag has a discount that week. At Savers, if you bring in items to donate, then you'll get a coupon to use towards your purchase, or if you spend X amount of dollars, you'll get X amount percentage off. So there's always different discounts, rewards, stuff like that. Some thrift stores do dollar days or bag sales where you can fill a bag for like a flat rate. So figuring out your thrift store's rewards programs or discount days will definitely help you get kind of more bang for your buck, and obviously being able to spend a little bit less is always a good thing when you're thrifting and getting, you know, the best deal you can kind of a thing. So that never hurts. and time is money, so you can ask your thrift store's employees, or usually like if they have a Facebook page or an Instagram, they will share on there when those will be. Not really a super specific one just because all thrift stores are different, but most thrift stores do seem to do some type of discount, rewards, something like that. So definitely check and see what your thrift store does to give discounts and shop on those days. All right, my next tip is to shop the off-season sections at the thrift store. People right now are looking for more warmer weather clothing since we're in spring, heading into summer soon. So checking the sections like sweatshirts or sweaters, jackets, stuff like that, they're probably going to be a lot less picked through and you'll be able to find better stuff. A lot of times people are just, shopping for themselves when they're out thrifting, so they're definitely looking for more in-season items. So those sections that are kind of like neglected during the off-season, I tend to find a lot of good stuff in those sections. Sometimes a thrift store will even kind of discount those sections just because they're not, currently in season. They're not really being shopped. So they'll discount them, which obviously will help you if you are thrifting to resell. Your chances of finding really good brands and items in those sections in the off-season are really strong. They're a lot less picked through, so definitely check those sections when you are out thrifting next time and let me know if you find anything good. All right, my last thrifting tip, it's kind of a random one, kind of a minor one, but I still think it's worth saying, and that is when you're out thrifting, when in doubt, just leave the item behind. There have been so many times when there was an item that was maybe a little bit too high of a cost of good or it needed like spot treatment and cleaning and stuff like that. And when I ended up buying it, I just completely regretted it, or I never ended up listing it just because it needed so much cleaning and I just never did it. So if you are feeling like doubtful about an item for whatever reason, chances are good that you just should pass on it. I'm just at a point now where if I am even a little bit doubtful about it, I'm just like, I'll just leave that behind. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below any thrifting tips you have that I might have missed. I hope you guys have a really good rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.